Morning, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone's having a nice Monday morning after a nice weekend. We are going to be talking about rain chances finally returning to the forecast as we head through the day today, and could even see some thunderstorms and could even see maybe a few severe thunderstorms across parts of the 1011 coverage area. So we'll talk about all of that and more here coming up in just a second. I want to start off with, though, a look at your kind of weather calendar as we, again, now are about two-thirds of the way through the month of October. And again, while temperatures were much cooler over the course of the past week compared to the first half of October, still dealing with a lot of above average temperatures, but certainly had some pretty fall-like temperatures through the first half of the week last week when we had highs in the 50s and 60s, but 70s and even low to mid 80s over the course of the last several days. And we're going to continue to see some warm weather as we head over the next several days as well, but temperatures a little bit up and down, but generally going to be above average for us as we head over the next week and likely head over the next week to 2 weeks as well as we get ready to finish off the month of October, head towards the Halloween holiday, and then into the first couple days of November. Also, again, the really big headline is, again, it's been awfully dry. Still no measurable moisture in the month of October for us here in Lincoln and for many communities across the state. Excuse me. Only a trace of moisture officially at the Lincoln Airport so far this October, and that was back on the 3rd. So now an inch and a half below average for the entire month of October. Now a little more than, I believe it's 3 1/3 inches below average for the entire year. If you go back to September 1st and the beginning of meteorological fall, we're more than 4 inches below average for our rainfall. So again, awfully dry. We've strung together now 26 consecutive days with no measurable precipitation, which is the longest streak that we've had this year. To find a comparable streak, again, you kind of, for a longer streak, at least in the not so distant past, you got to go back to 2017 when we had 28 days in a row. There is a chance, though, again, that we could see that streak come to an end today. We are looking at least the potential for a little bit of moisture. Again, certainly not going to be drought-busting moisture by any means today, but something is better than nothing. And again, we'll take what we can get at this point. But again, been awfully dry for us. Not only over the past 3.5 weeks, but really probably over the past 10 or 11 weeks here in Lincoln. So again, like I mentioned, 26 consecutive dry days that could hopefully come to an end for us today. There will be a chance for some severe storms. It does look like the best chance for severe storms isn't necessarily in Lincoln, but it's going to be just off to our west. Best chance is likely going to be across south central Nebraska and down into parts of north central Kansas. And then also, like I mentioned, going to be looking at more above average temperatures as we head through the week. Our average high today is 64 degrees. Our average high by the end of the 10-day forecast period is down to 60 degrees. So again, anything 64 or warmer, again, is above average. And we're going to be, I think, a pretty good margin above that over the course of the next week to 10 days. So more of the warm weather this week, and it looks like, again, over the medium term as well as we look at the longer range forecast. So again, the big headline is that threat for some severe weather today. This is the Storm Prediction Center's severe weather outlook, freshly released outlook from 7 o'clock this morning. You can see there is a marginal and slight risk for severe weather across the central sections of the state. So again, areas like North Platte, Broken Bow, Grand Island, Kearney, Lexington, Holdridge, McCook are under the threat for some severe thunderstorms as we head through the day today. The slight risk again, is down across far south central sections of the state into north central Kansas. So again, that marginal means that an isolated severe thunderstorm is possible. The slight means a few scattered severe thunderstorms are possible. So again, not looking at a severe weather outbreak by any means, but again, we could be dealing with at least a couple stronger storms as we head through this afternoon into this evening across the middle parts of the state. Storms expected to weaken some as they head further to the east. So again, Lincoln, southeastern, east central sections of the state not under the marginal risk. We are under that general thunderstorm outlook, though it doesn't mean we couldn't see a stronger storm or two push into the area, but storms are expected to weaken some as they eventually push off to the east. So if we break down the threats, there is at least a low-end tornado threat today, 2% chance, and that's going to be down across the south central sections of the state. So again, Grand Island, Hastings, Kearney, Lexington, Holdridge. Can't completely rule it out, but again, pretty low chances, but it is not zero. Wind, there's at least a low-end threat for severe wind, and likely the highest threat would be the potential for some large hail, maybe hailstones a quarter to maybe $0.50, maybe up to an egg, so 1 to 2 inches in diameter can't be ruled out as we head through the afternoon into the evening time frame to go along with some areas of potentially heavy rain. And again, considering how dry everything has been, that does help mitigate the threat for any flooding or flash flooding. But again, depends on how quickly some of that rain falls. The ground can only absorb so much at once. And again, sometimes when you just dump too much on there all at once, it can run off pretty quickly. But low-end threat for any flooding. So probably hail, the biggest threat, followed by wind, flooding, and then some tornadoes. All right, so jumping into some of the other stuff we want to talk about. Low temperatures this morning, again, staying awfully mild for us. Again, average low temperatures. Again, our average high today is 64 degrees, but our average low temperature for the day today here in Lincoln, it's all the way down to 39 degrees. So we should be dropping down into the 30s across the state every morning. And this morning it was mid to upper 50s and low 60s to start the day for most of the state, including 54 in Lincoln, 62 in Grand Island, and 56 in North Platte. Here in the Lincoln Metro, you can see those lows generally in the mid to upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. So again, a warm morning for us here in Lincoln right now. About 10 minutes past the top of the hour. Temperatures at the airport into the upper 50s. Here in Midtown Lincoln, we're right at 60 degrees with a south wind at around 10 miles an hour. Dew points are in the low 40s. Expect those to continue to maybe tick up at least a little bit as we potentially see some moisture chances begin to increase as we head through the afternoon into the evening. Again, otherwise, it is dry. This is, again, one of those setups where, radar may be showing rain, but with how dry we are in the lower levels, we'll have to kind of moisten up the lower levels before some of that moisture can actually hit the ground. Temperatures across the Lincoln Metro, again, just past 9 o'clock, upper 50s and low 60s, including, again, 60 here at the 1011 studios in Midtown Lincoln. Temperatures across the state, mid-50s to low to mid-60s out there. So, again, already starting off the day, again, about 10 to 20 degrees above average across much of the state. Again, so setting up the stage for another above average afternoon as temperatures are expected to warm again and likely into the 70s and 80s as we head through the day today. So again, more above average temperatures. Winds generally out of the south at around 8 to 18 miles an hour. Again, these could be a bit breezy at times today, gusting up to 25 to 35 miles an hour. Satellite radar picture does show some of that moisture that is currently falling across the middle parts of the state. Again, we have an upper level low that's going to be swinging in basically from the south and west as we head through the day today, and that's what's going to be driving the shower and thunderstorm activity. Again, expected obviously to be highest as we head through this afternoon into the evening time frame with some lingering activity, possibly as late as 11, 12 o'clock tonight. But again, generally those rain chances will be highest, especially for us here in Lincoln, as we head through the late afternoon, through the evening time frame, with those severe weather chances really not beginning again till that same time, late afternoon until the early evening hours. So again, if you zoom out, look at a little bit of a regional view, you can kind of see the spin of that upper level low. Currently, it's bringing snow to parts of the Front Range and Rocky Mountain National Park. There's actually winter weather advisories out there. They could see 4 to 8 inches of snow in some parts of the Rockies. We're on the warm side of that system, so obviously you see some of the rain, and you can see some of the moisture. Again, it's trying to pull northward. So again, have some showers stretching all the way down across parts of central Kansas and even into parts of Oklahoma and down into Texas. So again, that's going to continue to be the trend kind of today as this low kind of gets spit out from the Front Range. We're going to continue to see some of that moisture get pulled northward and rotate through the area. And again, looking for those thunderstorms to potentially develop this afternoon into this evening. So again, not a whole lot of moisture with this system. So again, not going to be certainly a widespread severe weather outbreak. There are some limiting factors in the potential for any thunderstorms this afternoon, and again, that lack of moisture is definitely going to be one of them. If you zoom out even further and look at a national view, again, things overall are fairly quiet. Have some showers across the Pacific Northwest, and again, obviously, the activity we have here and down across parts of Kansas and some of those snow showers across the Front Range. If you look at the weather alerts, again, thankfully, things fairly quiet, not a whole lot going on. Again, last week we had red flag warnings and wind alerts and a lot of winter headlines, winter storm warnings, and freeze watches, freeze warnings, things like that. This morning, though, as we start our new work week, things are fairly quiet. Again, you look regionally, you're going to have a high wind watch for some of those wind-prone areas in southeastern Wyoming. That winter weather advisory for the Front Range down in the Rockies, where, again, I mentioned they could see 4 to 8 inches of snow, but otherwise, right now, things are fairly quiet. So we check out Skycast and run you through the day today. Again, this is at 10 a.m. Doing a pretty good job of picking up real-world conditions with some of those isolated to scattered showers across central Nebraska, more activity down across the south, down to our south across parts of Kansas. As we head through the morning, again, we'll continue to see some of those broken light rain showers in central Nebraska. And then it's as we head past 12 o'clock into the afternoon, south central Nebraska, north central Kansas. Again, it's that area that we could see additional redevelopment of showers and thunderstorms. That's our in-house model picking that up by 5 o'clock. This is the severe activity that we're going to keep an eye on. By 5 o'clock, we could see that initial line of some scattered light rain beginning to push towards Lincoln and eastern sections of the state, with skies becoming generally overcast as we head through Monday afternoon into the evening. Then that severe activity will continue to try and push from west to east across the state as we head through the evening hours, weakening, though, as it does. So you can see by 10 o'clock tonight, it kind of has that activity beginning to push through the southeastern corner of the state, including here in Lincoln. But again, much weaker, a little bit more isolated in nature. So again, that's why we're in that general thunderstorm outlook, not that marginal or slight risk, according to the Storm Prediction Center, is that activity is expected to weaken as it pushes to the east. So again, there is that chance we could maybe see a few rumbles of thunder, maybe a stronger storm or two in Lincoln, but much lower chances for us compared to those folks in south central Nebraska, north central Kansas. But again, right now we're just looking for the rain. We're taking any bit of moisture that we can get at this point. This is Monday at 10. Again, that activity in that low, you can see it quickly spin through the state and off to our east as we head into Tuesday morning. So as we head into the day on Tuesday, expecting some clouds to start the day, but plenty of sunshine by Tuesday afternoon. Winds will be more out of the north and the northwest on the back end of that low. Again, just a little bit on the breezy side at times, but it will be a little bit cooler. And then we'll be dry as we head through the day on your Tuesday on the backside of that system. Tuesday into Wednesday, again, some cooler air continues to settle south into the area, so we'll see temperatures continue to cool back a little bit. We'll also continue to see at least a few clouds to start the day. I think by the afternoon, though, we should be looking at sunny to mostly sunny skies and dry conditions across the area. So precipitation potential as we head over the course of the next week. You can see a lot of the moisture across the United States over the course of the next week is going to be across the northern tier of the country, not so much southwest, south central, or southeastern sections of the country. Here in Nebraska, again, are really the only chance that we really have for moisture is going to be today into the evening hours tonight. Again, highest amounts there across parts of south central Nebraska. They could potentially see in half an inch to an inch of moisture with some of those thunderstorms. Locally, higher amounts possible with some of those thunderstorms. Here in Lincoln, we're likely looking at maybe around a quarter of an inch is what would be my forecast for rainfall potential for today. Maybe around a tenth, let's say between a tenth to a half an inch on the low end, and on the high end with around a quarter of an inch, I think probably being most likely for us here in Lincoln and across the southeastern corner of the state. As far as temperatures today, again, kind of a weird day with some rain ongoing and likely lingering into the morning and early afternoon with some clouds, but clear skies out ahead of that rain. We'll see temperatures anywhere from the mid-60s to the low 80s. Warmest readings are going to be across our eastern Nebraska, where we're expected to see more sunshine through the day today before those clouds thicken up. So 81 in Lincoln, but only upper 60s for Grand Island, mid-60s in Hastings, 67 in North Platte, some 70s across the northern and far western sections of the state. So again, with clouds and rain kind of out and about today, temperatures a little bit all over the place as we head into Monday afternoon. Tonight and into Tuesday morning, look for more above average lows. Again, keep in mind, like I said, excuse me, we should be generally in the upper 30s for our normal low temperatures, but it's upper 40s to low to mid 50s into Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon. Again, on the warm side for us here in Lincoln and southeastern Nebraska, anywhere from the upper 60s to the upper 70s to right around 80 degrees by Tuesday. Tuesday into Wednesday, again, a little bit cooler, but still above average, upper 30s to upper 40s. And then Wednesday, we see that cooler air finally really arrive and take over much of the state with afternoon highs in the mid to upper 60s to right around 70 degrees. So pretty comfortable, I think, for Wednesday after a couple warmer days to start the week. Low temperatures into Thursday morning, staying above average, mid to upper 40s to near 50. Thursday afternoon, we see temperatures jump back into the mid and upper 70s and even low 80s across the southeastern sections of the state. A little bit cooler there across north central, northwestern Nebraska, with highs generally in the mid 60s on Thursday. So again, we're a little all over the place as we head over the next couple days. Low 80s today, tomorrow, upper 60s Wednesday, upper 70s Thursday, but then back down into the upper 60s Friday and Saturday, low 70s on Sunday. We should be looking, again, outside of today, generally mostly sunny skies and generally dry conditions. So again, we're going to hope to kind of pick up whatever moisture we can for today because it really is our only opportunity as we head over the course of the next week. Low temperatures through the next 7 days, again, generally staying above average as well. Again, only Friday night into Saturday could we see temperatures look like dip down into the mid and upper 30s, which would be close to normal for this time of year. 10-day forecast for select cities across the state. Again, you can kind of see it's up and down, but it's generally above average as we head over the course of the next 10 days. Again, I mentioned it earlier, but our average high today in Lincoln is 64. By October 30th, the end of this 10-day period, our average high is 60. So again, we're staying above average over the next week to 10 days, not just in Lincoln, but for most areas across the state. You can see warmest days Monday, Tuesday, cooler on Wednesday, warming back up Thursday, cooler then Friday, Saturday, and then warming back up Sunday into Monday of next week before we kind of dip down just a little bit again. 8 to 14-day temperature outlooks. This takes us through the end of October into the first couple days of November. And again, from the Climate Prediction Center, still has better than average odds of seeing above average temperatures across the area. So again, looks like it could be maybe a warm Halloween, which again, kids certainly probably wouldn't mind. Again, we probably will have had worse Halloweens with some cold and snowy conditions. Doesn't look like that would be the case this year. And then as far as precip, again, Climate Prediction Center does have higher than average odds of seeing above average precip, which again we would absolutely take, and not just for us here across the state, but for much of the northern and central plains and the Rocky Mountain areas as well. So that's a time frame we'll keep an eye on. Looks like things maybe could get a little bit more active next week. So we'll keep an eye on that because in the meantime, not too many rain chances for us as we head over the course of the next week to 10 days outside of today. And again, we could see a few of those stronger thunderstorms, especially this afternoon into the early parts of this evening, and especially for the central parts of the state and down across parts of central Kansas as well. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that and keep you updated if some inclement weather does decide to break out. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching. As always, keep it tuned to 1011 both on air and online for all of your latest forecast headlines, as well as all the rest of your news and sports as well. Until next time, hope everyone has a nice Monday.